what about the Hauser guitars changed your approach?
Well, the biggest thing that changed my approach in regards to the Hauser guitar was in hearing it played, and that there was just so much volume and so much nuance that was coming out of such a small, rather simple instrument. They're not fancy by any stretch of the imagination. They were just so clear. They weren't the loudest guitar in the world, but I don't care about that. But they were so clear that it definitely made me want to look under the hood.
Okay.
And see what was going on.
And what did you find?
It was just a very basic traditional guitar.
Okay.
It was 7 fans, 2 little, V bars at the butt, lightly braced, not overbuilt, not ornamented highly, just understated in a way to let the wood speak for itself. They were just very, very elegant in their simplicity.
So no glaring secrets in the construction?
Yeah, I understood what you meant. No, I don't. I'm sure that I gleaned something every time I looked under the hood. I remember once looking and seeing exactly how the fan braces were shaped.
Okay.
How, not they were profiled, but how they were tapered along their lengths and where the highest spot was. And that was a helpful bit of information for me to realize, to see. And then the rest was just, I'm sure there was more, but so much of it was also just becoming familiar with the Hauser mystique, becoming familiar with the Hauser guitar away from the mystique.
Okay. Did you take any measurements as far as thicknesses, dimensions go?
No, I didn't. I took tons of photographs of 2 Hausers that I had come through the shop. There are some very good plans available of copies of examples of beautiful Hauser guitars, plans that were made from beautiful Hauser guitars. Some by Brunet in Chicago, in Illinois, and some by Jeff Elliott up in Portland, that are available to makers. And I had always seen those and known about them, worn a T-shirt of them for many years, and but seeing them on the bench was a very meaningful moment.
Wow.
And of course, then there was always the Carl Hauser that came through the shop. That was interesting too. I learned a lot from the Carl Hauser.
Yeah. Yeah, more about the Hauser mystique.
Yeah, that's what I learned about, was the Hauser mystique.
So what did the owner have you do to that Carl Hauser?
Well, first of all, he was absolutely convinced that it was a Hermann Hauser, even though the label said Carl Hauser, or maybe he thought that Carl was the long-lost brother. But he was convinced that it was a Hauser guitar that was worth a lot of money.
Okay.
Regardless of that, he wanted me to cut the neck off and replace the neck. I didn't know which was more horrifying, that he wanted to spend over $1,000 on this, what ended up really being a piece of junk, a plywood guitar, no joke. I sanded through the rosewood veneer on the back in doing what he asked me to do, or that it was more horrifying that this guy was willing to do this on a real Hauser guitar, that thankfully this wasn't a real Hauser guitar.
Oh, man.
Anyhow, that's what it should say on my business card, for hire.